Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review when I'm looking at a putter, specifically a L.A.B putter. Now if you've seen my channel before, you will know that I actually did a review of the L.A.B DF2.1 T putter a couple of months ago and actually had that in the bag for the majority of this year. However, I just couldn't get on with the size of it. Don't get me wrong, it's very light, it's made from, aircraft aluminium. But because it was so big, I was really struggling to align the ball when I was close to the hole. When I was further away from the hole, I had no problems. I absolutely loved it. When I was close to the hole, though, I really did struggle to align it, and therefore I missed quite a few little sort of tap-ins where I'd normally expect to get in, which was quite annoying and was affecting my score. So I thought, all right, I love L.A.B. I thought it was a great putter. I like what they do. They're getting more and more of their clubs out on tour because they are very good at what they do. But I was just like, I think I need something a bit more traditional, something that looks a little bit more traditional and is the right size, really. So nothing that's huge. And this is why I picked up this nice little, nearly broke a club there, nice little limited head cover I got as well. And I picked up this, the L.A.B Mezz.1 putter. Now look at that. See, it's not the biggest thing in the world. It's very much sort of like that fang shape, and I like that fang shape. Before I went down the L.A.B route, I was playing an even roll. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but an even roll, which was that fang shape. I really do like that shape. I find it quite easy to align when you have these sort of straight angles here, and obviously you do have an alignment aid on the top there as well. So I thought this could be the perfect putter for me. And I'll let you know at the end of the video if it is. Now, as always, all we're going to do is we're going to have a closer look at this club. Then we're going to come back here, go through the technology that's in it, basically the spiel off the L.A.B's website, get down to the golf course. Well, talk about the feel of it, what are my thoughts about the putter overall when I am using it. And then we'll come back in here for the ACS Golf Scale, and I will let you know if I think it was the right move for me. All right, without further ado, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go. And I think it's quite a good looking club, to be fair. I know it is very straight lined and a lot of people won't like that. They like a lot more curves, but for me, I really do like it. It is fang shape. It's not the biggest thing in the world. So I'll just show you a putter there. Very much a traditional sort of mid mallet putter. Just really do enjoy the looks, and I enjoy the limonade in the top there, and you sort of have the black limonades there, and obviously you can use the fangs as well. Overall, really does suit my eye a lot more than the DF 2.1 T that I was using, which was very big and quite a weird shape. That back end of it sort of, I just think it threw me off when I got closer. It was so big, it just threw me off when I had a nice easy putts, to get in. It really did. Obviously the weights on the bottom, if you go for fittings, these weights change to really dial in the putter basically for your stroke. Now let's get into the technology that's in this. So if you don't know what L.A.B means, so L.A.B stands for, if I can find it, I don't want to make sure I get it wrong. So lie angle balance. So L.A.B, L-A-B, lie angle balance. Apology, took me a while to get there, but I actually had to scroll up to the top of the page there, which I forgot to do. Anyway, so going into this putter and off L.A.B's website. So looks are important, but so is science. That's why Mezz.1 looks pretty much like a normal mid-mallet putter, but unlike those other putters, it actually helps you hole more putts. So the idea of this is to go for that sort of mid-mallet putter rather than the big DF version, which is really out there. You do have the DF3 out now, which is definitely a lot smaller, and again, would probably suit a lot of other people's eyes. Like all L.A.B golf putters, Mezz.1 is 100% lie angle balance to make putting easier and more fun. It feels like magic, but it's just science. So yep, it stays square all by itself. So all L.A.B golf putters are programmed to stay square to your putting art by themselves. You won't have to hold the face square like you have to do with every other putter. You can just let it stay square. you'll be amazed at how many more putts you start online. So if you hang this basically between a pendulum and you hang it like that and you swing it, so it's on a hook, this will just stay like that. A lot of other putters will go like this, twist, while this putter will just stay on course. It's quite good for someone like me because I do tend to pick up the putter. When I first pick it up, there is a little bit of movement in it, a bit like Will Zalatoris. I don't have the most prettiest putting stroke every now and again, but because of this L.A.B putter, even though I do have a little bit of movement, when it comes back to actually swinging it, it sort of lines itself up, so I don't push it out to left or right. It definitely stays on the true course of where I'm facing it. So, you know, it really does help in that aspect. However, did I find it a big problem with you while using other putters? Personally, no. So do be aware of that. You know, it does work the way like that. However, I'd never noticed a huge difference between that and other putters. So talking about the grip now, so you can see there, the actual grip is actually at an angle with the shaft. So the angle, the shaft goes in like that in the putter, as you can see there. And the shaft, the putter grip is like that. Well, the whole point is you're standing directly over the putter and the grip is directly down looking at the putter. So Mezz.1 is flexible when it comes down to choosing a putter grip. Most golfers are going to prefer our press 2.15. This is exactly what this one is. So 1.5 degree putter grip or pistol 2 degree with Mezz.1. They're our smallest and most traditional putter grip styles. But if you like your bigger putter grips or more forward press, so basically change that angle there, so a little bit more above it, so more in front of the putter, you know, they've got a lot of options. You're going to press 2 3.0, so that's 3 degrees. You know, press OG 3 degrees. So prefer an elliptical shaped putter grip, and they got press 1.L if you prefer an oversized elliptical shaped putter grip. So they've got loads of these putter grip options there, which is one of these things why probably with the putter, it might be a good idea to get yourself fitted, especially if you're going to buy this brand new, because they cost so much money. You might want to, well, you want to make sure it is the right putter for you. Did I get fitted? No, but I'm a bit of a muppet when it comes down to those things, so don't be a me. You know, if you're going to buy a brand new putter like this, you know, take the time to properly get fitted with it. I don't know if, I know Scottsdale sells this, so I can imagine, I know they're the main retailer over here in the UK, that is, so imagine they can probably fit you for it, so do check with them. Obviously in America, I'm assuming there's loads of places to get fitted for it, because obviously this is an American brand. And this is quite an interesting bit, from him. So it's okay to switch putters. So like most golfers, we like switching putters. It's fun to get inspired by a new shape and sound. What we hate is having to adjust our stroke to a new putter. The L.A.B golf putters don't have that issue. It's a bit like my bag that continuously changes just because I like trying new things. Because all L.A.B golf putters are all lie angle balance, you won't need to change your stroke when you switch to another L.A.B golf putter, whether using the DF 2.1, which is the original I had, the DF3, the Mezz.1. The Mezz.1 Max, by the way, is exactly the same shape as this. It's just a lot bigger. Or the Link Point 1, which is their blade. The torque profile will always be the same, zeros. It's quite an interesting thought then. I mean, I don't necessarily think you should go out and buy all the L.A.B putters and then just be like, oh, don't know which one I'm going to use on that day. But, you know, get what they're trying to say here. You know, these are all going to perform exactly the same way. It's just basically what's more aesthetically pleasing for your eyes. For me, it is that, because it doesn't matter if the putters all, you know, do the same thing. If you can't align one up and you line a better one up, then that other one's going to perform better for you. So, you know, with a blade, people might struggle to line up with a blade. So that isn't going to be the one for them. The DF 2.1 for me was too big, so I struggled to line that up. This Mezz one, I'm having a lot more fun with, because I can line up better. So regardless of the fact the swing stays the same, you know, obviously when it comes down to visuals, they do differ quite a bit. So they say it's easy peasy to switch to a L.A.B golf putter. Mezz.1 offers all the benefits of our spaceship on a stick without looking like our spaceship on the stick. So the spaceship was the DF 2.1, that massive sort of weird looking spaceship, which I don't actually have anymore. If I did, I would show you So do check my channel out for the review of that, so you can get real insight into that putter. So shaft options. So standard offering shaft is a matte black premium steel, which I have in here. We've worked hard on tipping of these shafts to give them the perfect stiffness and feel. If you want to upgrade your putter shaft, we offer multiple options and colors from TPT, ACCRA and BGT. So plenty of different shaft options in here if you want, but obviously you've got to pay more of a premium for it. And just a last final bit for you, the actual putter itself, what it's made of, it is an anodized 6061 aircraft aluminium, so black, and brushed 303 stainless steel. There's the steel there at the back there, but majority of it is aluminium, which makes it light. So it doesn't mean it's heavy. Obviously, you can make it heavy by putting in different weights. So there you go. There's all the technology that's in here. More spiel from what they're trying to say, and they're trying to sell it. But overall, a lot of thought has gone into this putter. You do have milled, the aluminium is milled on the face as well. So there you go. Now, let's get down to the golf course. I'm going to talk to you about my feel of it and what I found with it. And then we're going to come back here and go through the ACS Golf Scale. All right, see you in a bit. Here I am down at the course. It's actually down on Southern Green for this video, which I really quite enjoy. It's quite a long course, plenty of par fives, good options to really get out the longer clubs, which is always good. And the greens are pretty quick, so great place to test the putter. Now let's go into my sort of main thoughts about this putter and what I like about it. Number one, I like the size, having that mid mallet shape, far more traditional shape over that sort of L.A.B DF 2.1, which is massive. It's definitely your normal sort of shaped putter, which I definitely prefer for the eye. Alignment with it, I still think the alignment's very easy with it because of its rectangular sort of, well, it's straight lines, not rectangular at all, but it's straight lines. The way it's built, so it's not really built with any curves in it. It's all very straight. You have that alignment aid. You've even got those black alignment aids as well along the front. I just find it really easy to align, and of course, being a centered shaft, you can sort of get over that putter a bit as well. So even long putts, when a club where you do struggle with alignment, because it is a smaller club head, I still finding it really easy. So long distance putts were going in, well, getting really close, which I want. And then obviously being a lot closer, those sort of tap in putts, I found it really easy to align, and I was really getting those putts in. I wasn't missing any, which is great, because that's the main thing, a long distance putt, you might get it in every now and again, but it's the ones where you're sort of within sort of 6 feet that you really should be getting down every single time. And I definitely felt that this putter helped me. Moving on to the feel of it as well, obviously the grip's very nice, the weight of it's perfect as well, because that's the whole point of it. I really like the feel off the face. It's definitely a little bit harder than the original, the one I originally had. So the L.A.B DF 2.1 is a bit of a mouthful there. It's definitely a little bit harder than that, but it's still not hard. It is soft hard, I would say. So really nice feel off the face means that I can really get the distance control right. I don't feel that it's really soft and I really have to go for it to get any distance. It came off the face very nicely, and the rolls are really good as well, over end. So overall, very happy with it. And you'll see here, I put a few more balls down every time I was on the green, just to practice with the putter, because it was relatively new in the bag at this point. And overall performance has been really good. As I've mentioned, well, I believe I'll be mentioning later, haven't mentioned it yet, but putted 29 putts on average when I take this out, so that's 1.61 per hole. Really happy with it. Not too many birdies with it, but I'm getting close to the hole. So yes, I might not be getting those birdies, but I'm getting the pars when I'm on the green in two, or I'm saving pars. I've done quite a few times with this putter, or every now and again, bogeys or double bogeys or whatever. Really generally happy with the performance of this putter. Negatives, don't really have any negatives for it, to be fair. I mean, you might not get used to that sort of grip being a little bit more forward, so you're really over the front of the face. Personally, obviously using the original L.A.B, it's sort of, I'm really used to it, so I found that transition to this putter very, very easy, but it can be a little bit off-putting, I guess, if you've never tried a L.A.B putter before. I have put, L.A.B putter in my friends' hands and they have struggled with it, but apart from that, I think this is just a great putter. So there you go. I love it. I really do. I really enjoy the feel of it. I enjoy the looks of it. I definitely find this a lot easier to align when I'm closer to it than the big one. I really, really do. and I'm getting a lot more putts with it. I'm not necessarily getting birdie putts with it. There's a lot of my putts that are just sort of just on, well, basically just a little bit short, but that's just me getting used to the putter. I'm sure that will come soon. That's just me with my distance control. However, they're always online. Well, majority of the time they are online, which just means I have a tap in, to make par or say bogey or whatever. So generally really, really happy with the performance of this putter. Definitely prefer it from over the DF 2.1 because of the size. Also, even though it's supposed to be the same material as the other one, it does feel a little bit more heavier, to be honest, which is probably down to these screws to try and keep that lie, angle, balance, face, whatever, straight going through. You don't have that mass at the back as you did with the DF 2.1. I will also mention as well, so this is actually a 35-inch length putter. I normally play a 34. Don't get me wrong, I don't hold this right at the top. But for me, I find because it's a centered putter, so it's going into the center of the putter, it means that I can go, well, basically I want to stand the same length away from the putter as I normally would. So if it's a 34, I tend to find I was a little bit too close to the ball. I like to be a little bit further away. So because it's centered, by going an extra half inch or inch longer than normal, it means I'm sort of in the same position beside the ball. So just be aware of that if you've never used a center shaft putter before. Obviously you will be ending up, the whole point is a lot of people like to be over the top of it a little bit more. That's the whole point of it. I still like my distance away. So I actually went for a longer one and it's worked really, really well. Now let's get into the ACS Golf Scale. So remember, we've got distance, fuel, looks, price, and forgiveness. Distance I've just brought into my putter review. So this is distance control rather than distance of how far you can hit it. So distance control for me with this putter, 4.5 out of 5. Remember, sorry, 5 is the best in these categories, by the way, and 1 is the worst. So 4.5 out of 5 for this. Distance control is great. I'm really getting up to the hole. I'm making really long putts to save par as well. Like I said, I'm just not quite getting the birdie putt. So I think that's more just down to me knowing that I want, to save par. I can, just get it up there and tap it in easy for a par. When I've had to make pars with this, or try and save bogeys or whatever, and have a long putt, it still goes in as well. So, yeah, so 4.5 out of 5 for me. For distance control, to get a 5 out of 5 would basically mean I'm just getting past the hole. So even if I'm just missing, I'm just getting past the hole. It's not necessarily the case with this as of yet. So 4.5 out of 5. But then distance control is very much down to me rather than the putter itself. But by all means, you hit this, it does come off the face nicely. It's really good roll on it as well, by the way, and it does come off nicely. So you're not, because I've tried some putters before where they're really soft. You've got to really whack it to get the ball going, and then some that are really hard, we just tap it and it goes flying. For me, this is great. 4.5 out of 5. Really like that soft feel, and the roll's really good. So 4.5 out of 5. I will just say though, compared to the L.A.B DF 2.1T, so the bigger one, this is a little bit harder. So the DF 2.1 was a little bit softer, not a lot softer, a little bit softer than this. This is definitely a little bit harder. So do be aware of that. I mean, is it really going to affect you? It's up to you. But yeah, so I'm finding distance control for me with this is a bit better because the other one was that little bit softer. However, if you're playing obviously greens that are lightning, you probably want that softer touch, to be honest, because you don't want to hit it so hard. But anyway, overall 4.5 out of 5. Moving on to feel, as I mentioned, the DF 2.1 T, which I'm going to find right here. I gave that, it was really nice, soft putter, felt really nice. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. As I mentioned, this is a little bit harder, so I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. Still really nice, but just that little bit harder, which, to be honest, I prefer, I think. I've always said I like a really soft putter, but I think in this case, it was a little bit too soft, the previous one. So I did suffer with distance control. So for this one, it's a little bit harder, and I do like it, but still by no means, solid. It's definitely still relatively soft compared to other things because of that milling and that aluminium sort of core material. So 4 out of 5. Looks, 4.5 out of 5. Really like the look of it. I really do like the look of it. Some people might not, but I do. It's the right size. It's not too big. really helps with alignment. You know, I love the black look. Apart from the fact it does chip, be aware. I've seen quite a few of these out there and they have chip, but overall, really, really like the look of it. I do like the look of the Lab logo at the back there as well. Nice little touch there. So 4.5 out of 5. Now, forgiveness, the DF, you know, the DF 2.1T. I think it's DF. Yeah, Direct Force. Yeah, Direct Force 2.1T. I gave a 5 out of 5 for forgiveness. For this one, I've actually given it a 4.5 out of 50, well, 4.5 out of 5, getting my words out. It's just not as forgiving. It's still a really, really forgiving putter, you know, mid mallet, you know, with all this weighting, you know, to keep that face straight. It really is a forgiving putter. It's 4.5 out of 5. But because of you don't have quite the mass out the back, it's not as forgiving as the larger Lab putters, which you would expect. You know, you would expect the DF3 and the DF 2.1 to be a little bit more forgiving. However, you know, 4.5 out of 5, it's definitely got enough forgiveness in there for anybody out there to use who wants to play this type of shape. Really, really nice. So there you go. Moving on to price. Now, this is always a sticking point when it comes down to Lab putters because they are very, very expensive and they hold their value in the second-hand market. They haven't been around for that long. You know, this one is from 2022, which is one of like the second model they came out, I believe. You know, and they're still the current models as well. So they haven't stopped doing these and then brought out a new model. You know, they just added extra models to the lineup. So the price is steep. You know, you're looking in the UK, £449 to get one of these brand new, which is ridiculous for a putter. It really is. You know, really, I think it's like one of the most premium putters you can buy. And in the US, it's actually the same price, but in dollars, so $449. Again, you know, really, really pricey. You're talking, I think maybe even a bit more than Scotty Cameron's. You know, they really are premium putter, and that's if you're just buying the stock. If you're going to get it fitted with a different shaft, you know, get extra weights put in, maybe change the grip up, then suddenly you're looking close to the £600 mark, you know, $600 mark, which again is insane thinking about it. And because of this, the second-hand market, they are expensive still. So you're looking north of £300, so north of what, say $370 in the second-hand market if you're looking for one of these. I mean, the cheapest I've seen that was sold, and I believe me, I got a thing that was sold like that, was just over £300. So £302.69 was around $378. And I just went because they're like, oh my God, it's so cheap. Normally they're, you know, £20-30 above that. So do be aware they are expensive. And annoyingly as well, the head cover this came with, the one I got, if you don't upgrade the head cover, it's sort of like a material. It's not like plush, like sort of leather like this or pleather or whatever it is. You know, the inside was really soft, but it was sort of more like a sort of scratchy material. Wasn't that nice? So you might want to get an extra head cover, like, you know, I did, to change it, and then suddenly you're looking at £70, $80 to get a new head cover, and you're like, it adds up. So price, I'm giving them 2 out of 5. I could even go lower, to be honest, when it comes down to that rating, but it is a very good putter, so that's why I've given it a 2 out of 5, and it is very unique at the moment, what's out there. You know, will it always be the most unique putter out there? Maybe not. I don't know what sort of patents they have with this technology. But yes, you know, that's the only reason it's not lower, to be honest. But yeah, 2 out of 5. But still, generally, you know, not the end of the world. If you want to invest in a Lab putter, you won't be disappointed. But I do suggest perhaps get yourself fitted. So my overall thoughts about this putter. Will I stick it? Well, basically, have I enjoyed it being in my bag, and will it be staying in my bag for the foreseeable future? And the answer to that is yes. Massively yes. I love it. You know, it's really easy to use. It's easy to align. You know, if I'm missing putts, I'm just missing putts. I'm getting up to the hole really nice. You know, I'm making crunch putts with it as well. I'm just really, really enjoying it. You know, on average, I'm putting with it 29 times at the moment. So that's what, 1.61 average per hole. Had a few birdies with it, but not a huge amount. You know, I even had an eagle with it actually, which was really nice. But, you know, I'm keeping that putt rating down. So yes, I maybe not be getting those birdies or, you know, all those eagles. Eagles are very rare for me, but, you know, I might not be getting as many birdies I'm getting, but I'm keeping the putting down, so the strokes down. So therefore I'm not getting the bogeys or the double bogeys that I'd normally be getting. You know, I'm saving par with it. So very happy with it. Really, really enjoying it. And it is definitely going to be in my bag for the foreseeable future. I can't imagine what's going to knock this out, to be honest. I'll be shocked if anything knocks it out, because I really am enjoying it and I'm absolutely loving it. So there you go. And a long review of this club today, because you can always tell if it's a really long review on the channel, it's because I really adore the club that I've been reviewing and I could chat about it all day long, which is the case of this L.A.B putter. All right, guys, now I hope you enjoyed this really long video and review. Remember, if you do give it a like. Also comment down below, you know, do you play L.A.B putters? If you do, you know, what model have you gone for and has it worked to improve your putting game? And as always, do remember to subscribe to the channel for weekly ACS golf reviews and other videos thrown in there as well from time to time. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon for the next ACS golf video. See you then, and have a good golfing week. And if you're in the UK or anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere and you're watching this when it comes out, I hope you get out there and enjoy the rest of the summer, because let's be honest, if you're in the UK, it's probably going to turn pretty quickly. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon for the next video. All right, bye-bye.